How many times have you stared at your phone, typing out a message, deleting it, retyping it, then deleting it again because you weren't sure if it sounded too needy, too boring, or maybe even too much? You know, that moment, right, when your heart is racing just a little because this one text feels like it could either pull him closer or push him away. Now, here's the truth no one tells you. Men don't fall for paragraphs of perfect grammar or flawless spelling. They don't sit there analyzing whether you used the right emoji. What men can't resist is how your words make them feel. That's the secret. A text isn't just a message, it's a spark. It's a little doorway into their imagination, into their emotions. And if you know how to use that doorway, you'll have him smiling at his phone, missing you when you're not around, and thinking about you long after the conversation ends. But here's where most women go wrong. They either play it way too safe, sending polite, predictable messages that get the same polite, predictable replies, or they go the other way, oversharing, over-explaining, and accidentally giving away all the mystery before he's even earned it. Neither one creates attraction. Attraction lives in the space between what you say and what you leave unsaid. Think about it. Every time you send a text, you're not just filling space, you're planting an emotion. You're either sparking curiosity, creating playful tension, or building desire. And men, they're wired to chase that feeling. They can't resist it. So what if I told you there are a few simple texting secrets, ones most women never think to use, that can flip the script? Secrets that can take you from being the nice girl he occasionally chats with to the woman whose messages he waits for, whose words light up his day, whose presence he feels even through a tiny glowing screen in his hand. That's exactly what I'm about to share with you today. 3 texting secrets men simply cannot resist. And once you hear them, you'll never look at texting the same way again. Let's dive into the first secret, and it's one that most women overlook. Yet it's one of the most powerful tools you have when it comes to texting a man. It's the power of playful mystery. Now, I want you to think about the last time you were hooked on a TV show or a great book. Why couldn't you put it down? Was it because you already knew exactly what was going to happen? Of course not. You kept turning the pages or watching that next episode because there was suspense, curiosity, a little mystery pulling you in. Well, attraction works the same way. Men are curious creatures. They are drawn in by what they don't fully know yet. When you hand over every detail of your day, every emotion you're feeling, every single thought that crosses your mind, guess what happens? The mystery disappears. And when the mystery disappears, so does the excitement. Now, let's make this practical. Imagine you text him, I had a really good day today. Sure, it's nice, it's positive, but where does he go from there? He might say, that's great, what did you do? But there's no energy, no spark. Instead, try this. Something happened today. I'll give you one guess what it was. Do you see the difference? In the first version, you handed him a closed box. There's nothing left to unwrap. In the second version, you handed him a gift with the wrapping still on. He has to lean in, engage, and invest in the conversation to find out more. That's playful mystery. It's not about being secretive or manipulative. It's about creating space for him to chase the answer. And men love the chase, not because they're shallow, but because pursuit creates emotional investment. Here's another example. Instead of saying, I'm going out with friends tonight, you could text, my friends convinced me to do something tonight that could either be a brilliant idea or a terrible one. Now he's hooked. He wants to know what it is. His imagination fills in the blanks. Is she going salsa dancing? Is she trying karaoke? Is she breaking into a Vegas casino? Okay, hopefully not that last one. The point is, he's intrigued. And when a man is intrigued, he stays engaged. But let me add a little warning here. Mystery works when it's playful. If you take it too far, like being overly vague, dodging questions, or refusing to share anything real, he'll lose interest and think you're playing games. The magic is in the balance. Share just enough to make him curious while holding back enough to leave him wanting more. Think of it like flirting at a party. If you walked up to a guy and immediately told him your life story, your relationship history, and your 5-year plan, he'd probably feel overwhelmed. But if you give him a glimpse of who you are, just a taste, he'll want to know the rest. Texting is no different. So here's your action step the next time you text him. I want you to ask yourself, am I handing him the whole story on a silver platter, Or am I leaving just enough space for his imagination to play? Because it's in that space between what you say and what you leave unsaid that attraction grows. And let me tell you something powerful. A man doesn't fall for the woman who tells him everything. He falls for the woman who makes him curious, the woman who makes him want to lean in, to uncover her layers, to discover more about her. That's you. And playful mystery is how you spark that journey. No, ladies, let's move to the second texting secret men can't resist, and this one is all about teasing. Not the cruel kind, not the eye-rolling sarcasm, heavy, I'm better than you kind of teasing. I'm talking about flirty teasing, the kind that makes him grin at his phone and think, God, this woman is fun. Why is teasing so powerful? Because it creates playful tension, and tension in the right dose is the spark that keeps a man invested. Without it, conversations go flat. Think about it. If every text you send is serious, polite, or predictable, where's the fun? Where's the energy? Attraction needs that little push and pull, that dance of light-hearted challenge. Here's the psychology behind it. When you tease him in a flirty way, you're showing two very attractive qualities at the same time. First, confidence. You're not afraid to play, to banter, to keep things light. Second, standards. You're not placing him on a pedestal. You're letting him know he has to keep earning your attention. Now, let me give you some examples. Say he texts you, I'm kind of a big deal at the gym. Most women would either ignore the bravado or reply with something supportive like, aha, that's great. But you can flip it with a tease. Try, oh wow, should I start calling you Mr. Universe now? See what happened? You didn't insult him. You didn't put him down, but you poked just enough fun at him to make him laugh. It turns his little brag into a shared joke. And men love women who can play with their ego in a charming way. Another one, he says, I'm really good at cooking. Instead of replying, that's awesome. What do you cook? You could say, I'll believe it when I taste it. Until then, I'm skeptical. That tiny tease instantly creates a challenge. Now he's thinking about proving it to you, about cooking for you, about impressing you. You've just turned a casual comment into flirtatious tension. But let's get something straight. Teasing works best when it's sprinkled in, not when it's constant. If every single text is a jab, he'll feel like he can't relax around you. The key is balance. Think of teasing as seasoning in a dish. A little salt makes the flavor pop. Too much salt ruins the meal. Also, always keep your teasing warm, not cold. You're not trying to make him feel small, you're trying to make him feel alive. If your teasing ever feels mean-spirited, it crosses the line. The goal is to make him smile, not to make him doubt himself. Here's another powerful way to tease. You respond with playful exaggeration. If he says, I'm running late, sorry, you could text, oh, I see how it is. Keeping me waiting, I'll just sit here and write my tragic memoir while you get your act together. It's light, it's over the top, and it makes him laugh. Again, you're not angry, you're not needy, you're playful. That's the energy that men find irresistible. And here's the real beauty of teasing. It creates inside jokes. Every time you tease him about something, his love for pizza, his gym obsession, his Netflix addiction, you're building little threads of connection that are unique to the two of you. Those inside jokes become emotional glue. They make him feel like you have your own secret language. And trust me, once a man feels that, he's hooked. So here's your challenge. The next time you're texting him, look for a moment to play. Don't just respond with safe, predictable lines. Find a way to add a wink of mischief, a spark of challenge, a tease that makes him grin at his phone. Because when you tease him in the right way, you're not just another woman in his inbox. You're the woman who makes him feel alive, who brings a little fire into the everyday, who makes him excited to see your name pop up on his screen. And that, ladies, is how teasing turns into irresistible attraction. Let's talk about something that men crave more than they'll ever admit: appreciation. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, do I really have to feed his ego? Hear me out. This isn't about being a cheerleader. This is about showing a man you see something in him that the rest of the world overlooks. And when you do that, you become unforgettable. Most women, when they compliment a guy, stick to the obvious. They'll say things like, you're so handsome, or you look good in that shirt. Nice, sure. But here's the problem. Men hear that all the time. What they don't hear often are compliments that touch deeper parts of who they are. Here's the secret. If you want to stand out, give him unexpected appreciation. Compliment the things about him that go beyond the surface. For example, maybe he makes you laugh even on your worst day. Instead of just sending, "ah ha ha, you're funny," you could text, "you know what I love? You have this way of making me laugh exactly when I need it most. It's such a rare quality." Boom. That text hits different. Why? Because you didn't just laugh at the joke. You recognized his impact on you. That's powerful. Another example, maybe he's ambitious. Instead of saying, "that's cool, you work so hard," you could have to say, "your drive is seriously attractive." Not many people have that kind of focus. Notice the word there, attractive. You didn't just admire it. You linked it to your desire. And trust me, when you connect appreciation with attraction, it makes him light up. Here's the psychology behind it. Men, especially in dating, often feel like they're constantly trying to prove themselves. They're trying to impress, trying to be enough, trying to win your attention. When you acknowledge something about him that goes deeper than looks or surface charm, he suddenly feels seen, and feeling seen is addictive. Now, here's where you can take it up a notch. Don't just compliment him when he does something big. Try appreciating him in small, everyday moments. Let's say he remembers something tiny you mentioned last week, like your favorite snack. Text him, "I love how you actually listen to the little things I say." That's so rare. It's small, but it packs a punch because you're rewarding the behavior you want more of: attention, care, thoughtfulness. And men respond to that reinforcement without even realizing it. But here's the golden rule: keep your appreciation authentic. Don't fake it. Don't throw out random compliments just to flatter him. Men can smell insincerity from a mile away, and nothing kills attraction faster than a forced line. The power of unexpected appreciation comes from it being real. Now, let me give you one more pro tippy. Pair appreciation with curiosity. Instead of just sending, "you're smart," you could write, "you're seriously smart. Where did you even learn that?" Not only have you appreciated him, but you've also opened the door for him to share more about himself. You've made him feel good and invited him to go deeper. That's how emotional connection builds. And ladies, let me say this: appreciation doesn't make you look needy. It doesn't make you look like you're giving him too much. In fact, it makes you look confident. Because only a woman who knows her own worth can freely acknowledge someone else's. Weak people withhold praise. Strong women give it generously, and it makes men want to step up even more. So here's your little challenge. The next time you text him, don't just go for the easy compliment. Look for something deeper, something he doesn't hear often. Then tell him how it affects you. That's the secret. Not just "you're this," but "you make me feel this," because when you're the woman who makes a man feel seen, valued, and desired, not just for his looks, but for his essence, you're not just another conversation in his phone. You're the message that lingers, the one he rereads, the one he can't resist. Let's move to the fourth texting secret men can't resist. This one is subtle, but when you master it, it completely changes the way he sees your messages. It's called the art of timing. You see, most women focus only on what to text, but just as important, sometimes even more important, is when you text. Why? Because timing changes the energy of the message. The exact same text can feel ordinary at one moment and absolutely electric at another. Here's the first thing you need to understand: availability is attractive in doses. If you reply instantly to every single text, every single time, you send the signal that you're sitting around waiting for him. And while it's sweet to be attentive, it also takes away the sense of anticipation. Remember, desire is built in the space between messages, not in flooding him with constant attention. But here's the flip side: if you're always late to respond, taking hours or even days every single time, you'll come across as disinterested, or worse, playing games. Men don't chase confusion for long, they walk away from it. So what's the secret balance? You want to mix in unexpected timing that keeps him on his toes. Imagine this: he's at work, buried in emails, not expecting to hear from you. Suddenly, his phone lights up with a short, playful text from you. It's not a long message, it's not heavy. It's just something like, "I just remembered something you said last night, still laughing." Do you know what happens in that moment? You've cut through the noise of his day. He wasn't thinking about you right then, but now he can't stop. That's the power of timing. Or think about texting him late at night when the world is quiet. A simple line like, "Hey, just thought of you before bed, sweet dreams." That message lingers. He goes to sleep with you on his mind. And when he wakes up, you're still there. Now, let's take it up a notch with what I call suggestive timing. This is when you use your messages to plant the idea of closeness at the right moment. For example, he mentions he's heading to the gym. Instead of a plain "have a good workout," you might text "don't work out too hard. I'll need you to save some energy." Same words, but delivered at the perfect moment, just before he walks into that gym. And now you're in his head, fueling his imagination. Here's another example. He's going out with friends. Most women say, "have fun." Instead, you could send, "try not to get into too much trouble. I'll want the full story later." That's playful, light, and perfectly timed to make him smile right before his night begins. But here's the key: never overthink timing to the point that you're paralyzed. Don't sit there with your finger hovering over the send button for hours, trying to find the perfect moment. Perfection isn't the goal. Surprise is. Send your messages when they'll stand out, when he's not expecting them, when they'll brighten his day, or when they'll linger in his thoughts. So here's your action step. Pay attention, not just to the words you use, but the moment you use them. Send a playful text in the middle of his workday. Drop a sweet note at night when he's winding down. Leave him smiling when he least expects it. Because ladies, attraction isn't only in the message itself. It's in the anticipation, the timing, and the way you make him feel in that exact moment. Master that, and your texts won't just be messages. They'll be moments he can't forget. When it comes to attraction, women are often told that beauty, charm, or even mystery are the biggest tools they have. While those things may catch someone's attention for a moment, they rarely hold it for the long run. What truly captivates a man's heart, what makes him feel drawn to you again and again, isn't just the way you look, the things you say, or even how fun you are to be around. It's your consistency. Think about it for a moment. We live in a world where so many people are unpredictable. Hot one day and cold the next, giving attention when it suits them and withdrawing it when they feel like it. That inconsistency creates confusion, frustration, and even mistrust. But when you bring stability and reliability into a man's life, you stand out like a calm harbor in a stormy sea. Consistency doesn't mean being boring, predictable, or routine. Instead, it means being steady in your actions, reliable in your energy, and true to the way you show up in the relationship. When a man knows that your words match your actions, that your mood doesn't swing wildly without reason, and that you don't play games with his emotions, he feels safe. And safety, believe it or not, is one of the most magnetic and attractive forces in a relationship. Men crave this sense of stability more than they openly admit. Life is already filled with pressures, work, responsibilities, expectations, and uncertainty. When you are consistent, you become the one thing he can count on. You turn into a source of grounding, a reminder that love doesn't always have to be chaotic, and that steadiness makes him want to stay close, open up more, and invest deeply. But consistency doesn't only apply to emotional steadiness, it also shows up in the little things, responding when you say you will, keeping promises, even the small ones, showing him kindness not just when things are good, but also when you're stressed or upset, celebrating his wins, supporting him in his struggles, and treating him with the same respect in private that you do in public. All of these small acts build a sense of trust and admiration that no fleeting moment of passion could ever replace. Now, here's where the magnetic part comes in. When you're consistent, you create emotional security. And when a man feels emotionally secure, he's not distracted by doubts or fears. He's free to fully experience attraction. He can admire your beauty without worrying about hidden games. He can open up about his struggles without fearing you'll judge him tomorrow. He can relax into the relationship because he knows what to expect. And in that relaxation, his attraction grows deeper and stronger. Of course, consistency doesn't mean you never change or grow. Growth is essential in any relationship, but it means that your values, your kindness, and your loyalty remain unshaken. Even when life throws challenges, you show him through your actions that he can rely on you. And when a man feels that level of consistency, he doesn't just see you as a partner, he sees you as a rare treasure. So if you want to create a kind of attraction that lasts, one that doesn't fade with time or get lost in the chaos of daily life, focus on this. Be consistent in your words, your actions, your energy, and your care. Because beauty may catch his eye, passion may spark his desire, but it's your steadiness, the way you consistently show up with love, that captures his soul. Attraction isn't built on tricks, games, or fleeting moments. It's built on something much deeper. Throughout this journey, we uncovered 5 powerful truths: the art of mystery that keeps his curiosity alive, the magnetic force of emotional connection, the importance of authentic self-expression, the glow of confidence, and finally, the grounding power of consistency. Each of these isn't just a tactic, it's a way of showing up in love. Together, they form a complete picture of what men truly find irresistible. Because the truth is, men may admire beauty, they may enjoy charm, but what they crave deep down is a woman who can touch both his heart and his soul. When you weave these qualities into your daily life, you don't just attract, you inspire. You become the woman who makes him feel alive, safe, and deeply seen. And that kind of attraction doesn't fade with time, it grows stronger. So ask yourself, which of these 5 secrets will you start practicing today? Will you bring more mystery into your conversations, more consistency into your actions, or more confidence into your presence? Remember, every small step you take in embodying these truths makes you not only more attractive to others, but also more magnetic within yourself. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And most importantly, start living these secrets today, because love isn't about waiting for magic, it's about becoming the magic.